Amway Center. This is Friday Night SmackDown. Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler against Bayley and Sasha Banks. And tonight, Friday Night SmackDown on Fox is presented by Progressive.
To this point, since the opening bell, has been a relatively one-sided affair. Baszler and Jax, the defending champions, in their very first defense, playing the fight to Bayley and Banks.
Yep. And here's Nia into the cover to retain the championship. Hook in the leg. Bayley kicks out. Banks and Bayley tried to push the pace in the beginning of the matchup, and it bit them. They were both sent into the barricade by Jax and Baszler, and the champions have been dominating as we take another bang. The knee by Baszler.
Now Bayley into the clutches of Nia Jax. Shoulder breaker covered by Jax.
Is it enough to retain? Bayley kicks out at 2.
A loss tonight could be extra disheartening for Banks and Bayley. Neither woman has had a great deal of luck recently.
Oh, what a deal.
Particularly Sasha Banks. Could truly be soul crushing.
And Nia Jax backing up into Bayley. Bayley in deep trouble now. Jax again. Jax and Baszler dominating for the Women's Tag Team Championship. You see Sasha Banks, who were looking over her shoulder moments ago, begging and pleading with Bayley to stay in this matchup.
Jax is utilizing her power advantage to wear down Bayley.
What does Bayley and Banks have to do, Corey, to climb back into this against these powerhouses?
I don't actually have an answer for you. I thought it was a great strategy at the top of the matchup trying to isolate Nia Jax, but obviously to limited success.
Baszler, of course, the submission specialist. Jax, the powerhouse of the team. Bayley now whipped into the corner.
Goodness.
She was reaching back to Sasha, but too far away, and Nia just used her power again to her advantage.
And if Bayley and Banks, low cover here.
By Nia, Bayley able to kick out at 2.
Bit of a lackadaisical cover by Nia Jax, but if Banks and Bayley learned anything this past Sunday at Payback, it's to avoid the submissions of Shayna Baszler.
And now Bayley trying to fight back, but driven into the corner again. Jax in firm control. Tag, here comes Shayna Baszler. A two-time NXT Women's Champion, remorseless, vicious, relentless.
Neither Shayna nor Nia. Uh-oh, beautiful takedown. Baszler looking for a deep hammerlock submission.
And Bayley, center of the ring. Look at Baszler staring back at Banks, realizing that Bayley is in trouble here.
Shayna Baszler lives for this. The ability to torture an opponent in the middle of the ring for the world to see. Look at this. Oh, my God! Might have separated Bayley's shoulder.
And Baszler will realize that shoulder now the target point, the bullseye for the submission specialist.
Look at this. It's hard to watch.
Oh, God!
Just a nasty maneuver by Shayna Baszler.
And the official was right there checking on Bayley to see if she could continue in this tag team championship match. Again, just to look at the viciousness of Shayna Baszler. She said earlier today that I hope Bayley and Banks remember that they wanted this rematch. Well, I'm taking their limbs apart. That a quote from Baszler earlier today.
Nia now in to get in on her share of the fun.
Nia Jax, a former Raw Women's Champion in her own right, marching around the ring, and Banks in. And Bayley right to the back of the knee.
Smart.
Tag made finally, and here comes the boss, Sasha Banks, 5-time Raw Champion, going right after Nia Jax, realizing this could be her opportunity. Women's Tag Team titles up for grabs. Nia Jax sent into the corner. Banks didn't get all of it, but got enough. Banks now launched out to the apron. Sasha Banks catches Nia with a knee. With a knee.
A great strategy.
And another one.
Sasha Banks has to stick and move. Stay out of the grasp of the powerhouse Nia Jax.
The quickness of Banks as she looks to wear Jax down. Double knees to the midsection. Here comes Banks now. Running knee.
Nia might be out.
And Sasha Banks, smile on her face, realizes she could be closing in on the tag team titles. To Meteora by Banks. Cover now. Hook to the leg to win the gold. And a kick out by Nia with authority at 2.
Sasha Banks with a flurry of furious offense, but not enough to recapture the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships as we take another look. Banks with double knees from the top, pinning the shoulders of Nia down to the mat. But the kick out says it all. Still lots of gas left in the tank of Nia Jax.
And Banks now riding Nia, looking perhaps for I thought for a sleeper momentarily, but Nia Jax now positioning Banks on her shoulders. Reaches out, tag made. Baszler's now legal. I'm not sure well, she realizes it now as she drives a boot into Baszler's midsection. And now Nia through the second rope.
Able to catch herself now. The precarious position on the apron.
Bayley's now legal.
Oh, no way. No way.
Nia Jax hanging on. Double team hanging Jax up on the second rope. What a crash. But remember, you see Baszler in the background.